Alright John, we're filming. If you want to open it up and tell me what you're seeing, we'll discuss your observations.
Okay.
Shall we put this lid on here to save bending later? We'll slide that queen excluder off, it's no use at the moment.
And without a tool, that's after a leg. Do it gently, as not to spread them around.
So if you take the first frame out, have a look at it and then put it down by the front of the hive, gives you more room to manipulate things.
It's got stung.
Oh, I see, yeah. So just doing it from this side, and then you can leave it against the other frames.
Got you. Got it. Yep.
Yep.
Baxter! If you get stung like it, you're very cold.
Wow. Lots of brood.
Stung again.
Baxter!
Yep. And you've got a pheromone on you now attracting you to that spot. What do you see?
There's brood, there's cax honey, and there's pollen.
Good.
Correct?
Yep.
And on the other side, there's cax honey, there's brood, and yet again, more pollen.
Brilliant. Pop that down at the floor.
Lean it against here.
Lean by the front, by the entrance.
By the entrance here.
That way if they want to fly up, they can get in easier. If you just slide the end of the brush in between those to crack the propolis, you'll find it easy to take them out then. I suggest holding the brush the other way around, because as you brush it, it's
I'm actually aggravating.
yeah.
I got stung again.
same spot as well.
Yep,
That's the alarm pheromone.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, no room in there at all. It's full
That
of
is,
brood, it's full of nectar, eggs.
my goodness. Yet again down by the...
No, slide that one towards you now and you've got room to work. So that gives them an indication why they might have swarmed, with all the cells being full.
Really, you guys?
Wow.
Oh my goodness, that is...
Yeah. So the bees that they've just lost in swarming, they will replace within 14, 21 days.
So you've not lost that many, technically.
We've lost 50% of the colony. We could have put another box on top and allowed them to expand up,
But we didn't.
but the thing we have lost is the
Really?
queen. Yeah, you're getting lots of stings on your hands now.
These gloves are useless. Ow, that's my finger.
Yeah.
Can you carry on for me, please?
Yeah.
'Cause,
You've got the alarm pheromone on you and it's attracting them in.
I am getting very
Pinched.
which is fine.
Yeah, every
Look,
one of
how
those
many
is
is
a
that?
sting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got about a dozen. I'll slide in.
Go for it, yes.
I'm just looking down from where I'm stood here looking at this next frame. I can see that it's a big slab of brood, so there's no wonder they've swarmed. Simply not enough room for them.
Were they not happy with me? Is that why they were stinging me?
But once you were stung once, that stinger lets
It leaves a
off
pheromone,
yeah.
so therefore they zone into me again.
Yeah, look at that.
My goodness. Wow.
Die for that at any other time of year.
Gosh, that looks heavy. That looks, oh my goodness, look at the honey.
Masses of pollen.
Look at the guys bringing the pollen in on the back of the legs as well.
Yeah, and I can see on this next frame there's actually a queen cell
Oh dear.
which they've made over the last few days.
7 days.
Look, see there at the bottom, and it's emerged.
Oh dear.
So
Is
we
that
have got
why
a,
they swarmed?
yeah, we've got a new queen in here. So, oh no, it's not emerged. It's a forming one. If you're looking at it, packed with royal jelly.
Right. Okay. So it's
It's one in the process of being made to replace.
you have to remove it.
Well, if we had a queen in, I could remove it.
Oh, right.
But we
You've
want
still
we
not
need
found the
another queen.
So you haven't found a queen yet.
We won't find one if they're swarmed.
Right. So will that establish itself, or will it be killed?
No, we hope that they'll continue to draw that cell out and then develop it into a replacement queen.
Queen. Okay. So
A
it
su-
calms the colony
procedure.
down.
Yeah.
So who steers the ship when there's no queen?
Nobody, in effect. It's just their process that the nurse bees nurse everything that they can. So they'll nurse the queen cell and try and turn it into a new queen. And then when that queen emerges, she then rules the roost.
Gotcha.
So, if I can have the plastic top there, John. What we'll do is put that on to stop them flying in our face. And then we'll take this box off and place it over there. And then we'll examine the
Queen
lower-
guard on it.
No, not yet. Then we'll lower.
Actually, is it the queen guard? Oh no, it's that one and then the queen guard.
No, we'd normally put the queen excluder on top here
top
when we
of
put
here.
another honey box on,
Yeah,
which
sorry.
was my intention.
Yes, because we didn't get round to that last time, did we? Told
So
you.
I'll just
Oh, can I?
crack that open because it's
My hands are throbbing.
probably proper lively. You look like the elephant man at the end of the day.
Yeah, with joker hands.
There we go. You want to take that for me and pop that on top?
Over here.
Uh-huh. You got it?
Got it.
We'll now look into the lower chamber and see if we've got any more queen cells. This is where I'd normally expect to see them. But we know we've got at least one being formed at the moment.
So you mean there may be more queen cells?
Yes, it's unusual to find just one. We normally expect to find 3, 4, 5, 6, a dozen. So lots of brood, stacked with pollen, no queen cells on there, but again, absolutely chocker.
So you've lost quite a few, but
Yeah,
it
but
seems to be still a lot.
well, bear in mind if we've lost half of them, can you imagine how packed it would have been?
Yes, indeed. Hence why they exited.
And I'm assuming the swarm was ours.
Yes,
It could have been somebody else's.
Oh,
Could have been, if we find a queen.
it did look like it came from here. And Paula said it was the back
Well,
hive that was more busier.
well if that is the case and it is this queen, then hopefully in about 4 weeks we should have another laying queen in here. Natural replacement. Wow. Every cell's full of pollen or nectar or brood.
So what have they done with pulling those? They pulled those
These cells?
more, yes.
They're drone.
They're drones, okay.
Yes, you see the like little bullets
Yes, yes.
standing proud.
So they're drones.
Yeah. They're the males.
Yeah, yeah.
Whose only purpose is to mate with the queen.
Wow, what a job.
No other purpose. And I've got one crawling up my right hand trouser leg.
Nice. I've just got another sting on my hand. And I've got them folded behind my back.
They might be a little bit more tetchy because there's no queen to keep them in order. Now that's another queen cell.
Yes.
There, can you
yeah,
see that
yeah,
large
got it.
one? And looking inside, there's a large grub in there and royal jelly. So we
two
know
queens now.
they're making 2 attempts to replace the queen.
Would that mean they will remain stationary or swarm again?
No, they'll stay here, these now. They'll
What
try and
will they
make
do with
another
the two
queen.
queens?
Well, the first one out will probably, and usually, sting the second queen cell. The first queen that emerges will normally sting the second one.
Right, to move in the competition.
Yeah, the queen is the only bee with a reusable sting.
Wow.
All the now male bees, drones don't have a sting. The
No.
worker bees, the females,
Yes.
the nurse bees, the female bees, have got a sting. And when they sting you, it's barbed
And they die.
and they die.
Hence my hands.
Yep. But the queen has got a reusable sting, and nature gives her that so she can sting other queen cells.
So they've
Now-
drawn extra onto that one, haven't they?
Yeah, at the bottom that was a shallow
Are
frame.
those two queen cells there as well?
Well spotted, yep. Two more. One charged, one... Oh no, they're both charged.
So they've now got 4 queen cells.
4 attempts. So what we could do is come back in about 3 or 4 days' time, when they're all sealed, leave the best 2 in here, cut the second 2 out and place them in my incubator to try and raise 2
Two more colonies.
queens, which we can then introduce to further splits and requeen them rather than lose them. So if they're all viable, those cells will grow, they'll be capped, and the presence of queen cells would indicate that they were getting ready to swarm, and then seeing them leave this afternoon, I think it's a surefire bet that this is the colony that swarmed.
Is that because of the production of the queen cells?
It's because they were overcrowded and no
Oh,
more rooms,
right.
so as a consequence, she's given off a signal. They've responded to it by promoting other larvae into queen cells. Once they've got to a certain size and the queen's happy that there's a good chance that they're going to develop, she buggers off and she takes half the bees with her. Now look how packed this is. Can you imagine how immensely packed it must have been before the swarm?
Before the swarm, yes.
And that's my fault for not coming back and placing another box on soon. So lesson to be learned,
Regular
plenty
maintenance.
of space. I always keep talking about Hooper's 5 rules. One of the rules is ensure there's enough room for the colony to expand. I didn't do that and now I'm suffering the consequence. Live and learn, folks.
Right, do you want to?
Yeah, if you want to place that back on top. It's lovely. I still think we could do with another box on top and some more frames, because all that lovely brood that you've just seen is going to be emerging over the
Struggling.
next few days.
Struggling for space.
Well, it's going to emerge, and we might as well give them jobs to do, which is start filling the box up. So, from John's Apiary, we wish you all a good afternoon,
Happy VE Day.
and we'll see you next time.
Well, my ankles have got away scot-free, but my hands have not. Although it's not as bad as last time, if I'm honest with you.
So, live and learn.
But I need better gloves. Look at that.